providing resources and comfort to caregivers. This is Caregiver Crossing.
Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. However you're listening to us, we're so glad you're here on Caregiver Crossing, and welcome. Thank you all so much for joining us. If this is your first time to be here, Caregiver Crossing is a show that's brought to you by Joy's House Adult Day Service, and it's presented in partnership with the good people at Cardon and Associates. We're here every week with you, and we're going to talk about all things caregiving and more. My name is Terry Stacy. Tina McIntosh, she's just away for just a bit here, and we'll be back shortly. And also here is our producer, Noah. Hi, Noah.
Hello. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm so good. I'm happy to be here today.
Good. And time flies by. Here we are.
Oh, my gosh. It's already August.
I know it's August, and we're into it.
And we're already almost done with the summer, too.
Yeah.
We've only got about a month left.
Kids are going back to school right and left, and time is flying, for sure. Yes, Noah Taylor. He is here and he produces each and every week. Thank you for coming, Noah.
Oh, thank you so much for being here, Terry. I actually have something really cool to talk about today.
Okay.
Tina sent me this really heartwarming TikTok. I'm just going to go ahead and start talking about it a little bit.
Okay.
So this is the story of Alex and Andy, Pet Bandanas. This is a TikTok I saw.
Okay.
This is a small business with a really big heart.
Aww.
So Uncle Andy suffered a severe stroke that caused right side paralysis, turning his world upside down. But rather than letting this setback define him and really define his life, he found a new way to express his creativity and maintain that independence too, so he can still do stuff all on his own. He took up drawing and designing shirts, all with his left hand since he's paralyzed on the other side.
Since he was paralyzed, I'm looking it up right now. He's
Yes.
sitting in a wheelchair.
Yes. Each design is a testament to his hard work and the determination. And you can see in these TikToks that he pours his heart into every single order and design. I mean, he even writes a special thank you note for each person
that orders a shirt.
Who orders a shirt or a bandana. He will write that specific thank you note to the.
I love this story.
I know, isn't this incredible? Despite the challenges, Andy really perseveres, crafting each piece with love and dedication. His efforts don't stop there. Like I said, he includes the personal thank you note with every order. They always have a special touch that makes every customer feel appreciated.
Well, I'm sure it keeps him really busy.
I'm
sure it's keeping him busy, and it's also maybe helping and sharpening his motor skills. That therapeutic power of art.
Yes,
It's there.
It's art. It's music.
Yeah.
It's a little bit everything to keep your brain active too. The routine not only keeps him busy. It demonstrates the therapeutic power of art. It's really incredible. One of my favorite shirts, the specific TikTok that we were watching, is Uncle Andy's favorite shirt as well. And it carried a really powerful message that really kind of made me emotional. Everyone is fighting a battle you know nothing about.
That's what it says on the shirt. Everyone is fighting a battle you know nothing about. Pretty important words. I want to buy one of these shirts because they're really cool. It's kind of in a handwriting, the front of it, the words.
The designs are really cool.
It.
Yeah, I mean, everybody should check out this Uncle Andy and Alex Pet Bandanas on TikTok. You guys should really check them out. Buy one of their designs. They are super cool. And he makes them all himself with his left hand. That's really incredible.
Yeah. You'll receive this really cool, unique, and heartfelt product. And again, we have nothing to do with this. It's just something that we think is pretty awesome in supporting. We have lots of local, and I'm sure in Illinois, lots of local of these small, tiny organizations that you just don't hear so much about. But putting your money into something like this, it feels very personal. To the recipient and to those that are creating. I mean, it's really a pretty terrific story. And again, I hope that you'll buy one of these shirts. Do you know how to get one? Because I want one too.
I know that they have their website listed on their TikTok, Alex and Uncle Andy's Pet Bandanas. So definitely got to check that out.
All right. We will also have this probably on our podcast in case you miss where we
I will put the link up there in the podcast so you can just click on it and go right to their shirts.
Okay.
But I do have a question for you, Terry. What do you think about that quote on Uncle Andy's favorite shirt? What do you think about...
Everyone is fighting a battle you know nothing about?
Yeah, how does that make you feel?
Sometimes you forget about that.
You do.
We have become so judgmental without knowing anybody. We don't know what you're going through. Tina has been awesome at trying to calm me down when I'll tell her something has frustrated me. I'm in a line and there's a person in front of me that's, doing something or saying something and I'm just frustrated. And she'll say, you just don't know what they're going through. You don't know until you walk in their shoes. Yeah. You don't know what they're battling. Somebody, give you a quick example, and this is just awful. But there was somebody driving beside of me in a 2-lane road, one way, 2-lane street, driving crazy, just crazy. And when we'd get to a stoplight, we were right next to each other. Both of our windows were down. This is dangerous, everybody. I know this. This was a couple years ago, right next to each other. And then he would take off again, and he was driving so fast. And I was worried. And I said to him, because we were sitting at a stoplight, I shook my head at him, which was stupid again because he could have killed me. Mm-hmm. And I said, and he looked at me and he said, hey, I'm sorry, I'm just late to pick up my kid. And I said, I'm afraid you're going to kill somebody driving as recklessly as you are. Silly. I should have never even engaged. But he was trying to be there on time so his kid didn't have to wait for him. And I just thought he was just a jerk.
You just thought he was,
driving
reckless.
Driving recklessly, and he was, and there was no reason for it because he needs to arrive alive too, right? Mm-hmm. But again, I was judging that he was a drunk driver, a crazy driver. But what he really was he was just trying to get to pick up his kid so his kid didn't have to wait. Mm-hmm. And it's just it's probably a very poor example, isn't it?
But it really, it does demonstrate
yeah, that's the first thing that came to my mind. Terrible example.
Yeah, just because you're acting in a specific way.
Right. We're so quick to judge, and I'm bad at it too, everybody.
I am too.
But if you just think a minute, that message, everybody's fighting a battle you know nothing about. We kind of just, we have to be a little bit more thoughtful about what we say to people. We don't know their story. Yeah. There was a question the other day that was around the internet, and it was saying, shouldn't we stop asking people when somebody comes to you, you see them, you haven't seen them for a while, and you say to them, oh my gosh, you look great, you've lost weight. And it's offending some people.
For sure.
And again, you don't know if there's a sickness if you haven't seen them for a while. You don't know. I don't know anything else in that. But people are now becoming more offended by saying, how are you doing? Yeah. Are you okay? What you're instead of saying you look great.
Yeah.
You look like
what's
have you
wrong
lost
with
weight?
You? Yeah.
Did you not look great before?
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, we don't know what they're battling.
We don't.
If anything.
So just be a little bit more aware.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
Take a break.
We're going to take a break. You can find past episodes of the show at caregivercrossingradio.org, and please be sure to like and follow us on Facebook, especially if you've got a little organization you'd like us to talk about. We love the small businesses that carry the powerful messages. If you'd like to connect with us to discuss show topics, need help connecting with resources, have a question that you'd like for us to answer on air, or just want to say hey, you can reach us at 317-254-0828. Or you can email Tina at joycehouse.org. Everybody stick around. We'll be right back with more Caregiver Crossing shortly.
Welcome back to Caregiver Crossing. I'm Terry Stacy along with Candace Hattabaugh. Well, there's a major health crisis on the rise nationwide as direct support professionals continue to quit in droves, leading to increasingly poor health outcomes for Americans living with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Here to talk about the possible solutions is Dr. Craig Escuday. He's president of Intellect Ability. Thank you so much for spending time with us today. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me today.
Thank you very much. Tell us first and foremost, about Intellect Ability.
Sure. Intellect Ability is a company that our mission is really to provide tools and training to help improve health and wellness and reduce health risks for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities across the country.
And developed, by the way, the health risk screening tool.
That tool is a tool that's used, again, across the country to screen for health risks that are often missed in people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. And it also provides action steps to help supporters mitigate those risks and reduce health risks and improve health outcomes for people with IDD.
The American Network of Community Options and Resources recently published the results of its 2023 State of America's Direct Support Workforce Crisis Survey, polling 581 healthcare organizations operating across 45 states nationwide. When we look at those results, what jumps out at you immediately?
It's pretty startling. So many of us, including people with intellectual and developmental disabilities, rely on the support of others to function in society, really. And we all need help at different times. And sometimes we look towards paid caregivers for that support. It may be coming into our house to provide assistance with meals, assistance with getting dressed, maybe transportation activities to keep us involved in society. What we're seeing is that more and more people are leaving this field. And what happens is it results in an inability to provide appropriate supports and services for so many people, again, including people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. But this really affects people in all areas across the population, including people that are aging, people who have had various injuries or traumatic brain injuries or other disabilities as well, who rely on others for support.
What do you think's going on? Why is there such a high turnover rate for direct support professionals who care for disabled Americans?
I think one of the big reasons is the pay for this type of work really has not kept up with what is needed for people who work in this line. It's a pretty challenging field, but it's also extremely rewarding. But there's a lot of responsibility associated with providing care and support for others. We have to pay people accordingly for the work that they do. And what we've seen, as a result of pandemic in part, where so many other types of jobs, such as fast food workers, the pay has gone up tremendously for those types of jobs. If you have an option of, working with someone on a daily basis, there's a lot of training involved. There's sometimes some risks and some challenges. Or working in a fast food restaurant where you can make more money, many people are going to choose to work in that other industry rather than in a support type industry. And I think that certainly plays a role in why people are not moving towards this field and moving away from this field.
Dr. Craig Escuday is with us. He's the president of Intellect Ability. And you mentioned education a lot in how that may help decrease high turnover rates nationwide. How would that work?
So one of the reasons people, somebody told me this a long time ago, people don't work for money. And I didn't understand that, because at the time I heard that, I was broke and really needed to work for money.
Me too. Heard it too.
Right. What I realized that statement is really getting to is that we can work in a lot of different areas and a lot of different fields to earn a living, but we are going to work in a field that is satisfying to us, where we feel capable of doing a good job and that we're providing a service that's valued by others. And I think that's one area where education comes into this field. When we are better prepared to work in a particular role and to meet the needs of that role, we're going to feel more confident. We're going to do a better job. We'll probably be rewarded for that because we have additional education and training. And that's how education and training can improve retention of employees in really any field. And that includes the field of supports and services for others in a caregiver setting such as this.
That's how you improve the health outcomes, is what I think I'm learning from you, and quality of life for those individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities.
Yes. One of the many responsibilities that supporters or caregivers have in this field in particular is to be observant of changes in a person's health and to be able to recognize health destabilization early before it ends up being a problem. And we know that many people with intellectual and developmental disabilities communicate differently. They may not be able to tell you exactly what they're feeling. They may not be able to say, oh, my stomach hurts. Oh, I have a toothache. But they may exhibit these signs in different ways, and sometimes it might be through some sort of change in their behavior, and sometimes it could be aggressive behavior. And that's where training is so important, because it's so important that we train supporters in this field to be able to understand the differences in a way that a person with an intellectual disability may communicate signs of pain or discomfort. And so that education process and that training process will empower the staff to be able to act early and to reduce those health risks, maybe prevent hospitalizations or even death, because they were trained to recognize these early signs of health destabilization and act and prevent those bad outcomes.
Technology is everywhere, but you say technology is being used to help new caregivers provide better care for disabled patients. How is that working?
Technology comes in many different forms. You mentioned the health risk screening tool earlier. That's one form of technology where we use electronic technology to screen for health risks and then provide information to supporters so they're aware of the person's health risks and know what to do. But there are also other types of technology, such as remote sensor supports, where there are sensors that might be placed in a person's home that can detect, say, if a person is in a room or not in a room.
Wow.
That can detect if the stove is left on or and for how long. That can detect doors opening. And all of this information can be utilized to support that person and to identify a potential problem. A perfect example of that is, let's say a person has a sensor on their bed that can tell if the person's in the bed or out of the bed. Let's say in the middle of the night, they get up out of the bed and they move to the bathroom, and then the sensor does not detect any more movement for a certain length of time, maybe 15 minutes or an hour. That could indicate that the person got up out of bed, moved to the bathroom, and then they're not moving anymore. So they could have fallen or had some other health problem that kept them from being able to move, and can alert staff to come and check on that person right away.
I'm even thinking about my father when my mother was caring for him before he passed away, and how she'd try to sleep through the night, but he would get up and move around, and how important of a tool that would be for caregivers at home, for those that are caring for their loved ones at home.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh. How can we learn more about intellectability?
Well, you can visit our website. It's replacingrisk.com. And we have lots of free downloadable resources on the website, especially for people who work with people and support people with intellectual and developmental disabilities, as well as a lot of articles on health and wellness and support and services, and technology related to supports for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities.
Dr. Craig Escuday, President of Intellectability, thank you, and we hope you'll come back and visit us here on Caregiver Crossing.
I would love to do that, and thank you again for having me today.
You're listening to Caregiver Crossing, a show designed for family caregivers and the people who love them. Caregiver Crossing is brought to you as a service of Joyce House in partnership with Cardon and Associates. With locations in Broad Ripple and near the University of Indianapolis campus, Joyce House provides exceptional day services for individuals living with a life-altering diagnosis and compassionate support for family caregivers throughout the community. At Joyce House, we believe that everyone deserves to live their best life, regardless of their abilities. Learn more about our adult day and caregiver support services by calling us at 317-254-0828. Again, that phone number is 317-254-0828, or by visiting joycehouse.org today. Everybody stick around. We'll be right back with more Caregiver Crossing right after this.
Welcome back to Caregiver Crossing. Carrie Stacy along with Candace Hattabaugh. Well, as you have heard, the Indiana Family and Social Services Administration's proposed cost-cutting measure as a result of the agency's $1 billion shortfall announced in December will negatively affect hundreds of family caregivers in our state. And last week I spoke to Danielle Johnson. She's an attendant caregiver for Anthony, and she wrote a powerful plea for help and encouraging others to do something too on social media. I wanted to hear from someone that is a caregiver and how the FSSA's mistake will affect their family. So I asked her first to tell us about Anthony.
So Anthony is 4 years old. He has a rare genetic disease with a genetic mutation. It's called spinal muscular atrophy type 0. So normally you'll hear about type 1 through 4, but he's a type 0, so it's even rarer. And normally both parents have to actually be a carrier of this gene, but I'm actually not a carrier, so that's why there's that rare mutation.
So from birth, he's needed round-the-clock care.
Exactly, yes, ma'am. He is bedridden. He's nonverbal. He can move his arms and legs. He can make noises and sounds, but he can't actually form sentences or anything at the moment. I'm not even sure that'll ever be anything he'll be able to do. He'll never walk. He'll never be potty trained or be able to even use a restroom like a normal person. He's fully dependent on me. He has a ventilator. He's on a trach. He has a feeding tube. He takes nothing orally by mouth at all. So we have to do oral care, absolutely everything that you could think of.
Bless his heart. Does Anthony have any siblings?
Yes, so he has 3 brothers. One of them is actually 20 and he's already moved out, but we have a 15-year-old and an 11-year-old here at home.
So it's pretty evident that you're not able to hold a job outside the home. You are actually a paid employee of a home health agency since 2021 under the Aged and Disabled waiver through Indiana Medicaid. And you went through an extensive application process to qualify for this job.
In-home assessments where the care managers have to actually come into our homes, do assessments and take vitals and look at the equipment and see what's needed. And they're the ones that allocate the hours that we're allowed. So if they're submitting these hours to the FSSA and the FSSA is approving it, I'm not understanding where the shortfall is coming.
So this is where the anger and the confusion and the fear comes in from families all across the state.
They're saying that this is a program that was started because of COVID, but that is not true. The program was actually started in 2017, and it was called the Medically Complex Warriors Program through the Aged and Disabled waiver. They said it would not be impacted post-COVID, that this would not be one of the, it says waivers are not impacted by the end of PHE flexibilities for parents as paid caregivers of minor dependent children. The Aged and Disabled waiver and the Traumatic Brain Injury waiver were not supposed to be impacted.
Anthony's round-the-clock care includes taking him to more than 10 doctors in 2 states at a fraction of what a nurse is paid.
Yeah, not even close. We had a nurse for a couple of weeks one time, but she wouldn't change diapers, so that wasn't feasible to keep her, because if she's not going to change them and I'm not here, then somebody has to. Yeah. So I still have to be here even if we have a nurse. I can't drive alone with them because he is on a ventilator. But she was making $38 an hour.
The proposed FSSA's changes. What choice will caregivers have?
They said that we'll be given a choice of something called a family structured waiver of some sort, and that it'll be like a daily stipend, but it won't be paid directly to us. It'll be paid directly to our home health agency, and then they get their cut and give us what's left. So we'll probably get about 40% of $77 a day. That's not a livable wage at all. They're single parents that this is their only income. It's not our only income. It is a huge part of it. Without it, we're going to lose our home. We're going to lose everything. I don't even know it. We don't have any family here in Indiana. I have a sister-in-law and a brother-in-law here, but that's it. All of my family is in Texas, so I don't know what we'll do.
Well, as you mentioned in your post, the options you all face if this happens include parents finding nursing care, institutionalizing more critical needs kids, structured family care, as you mentioned. But with nursing shortages and few pediatric beds, you could be on a wait list for weeks. You could be on a waiting list for months even.
There were shortages before COVID. There's definitely shortages now. And they know that we won't be able to fulfill those hours with somebody else, so that's how they'll save their money.
What frustrates you the most about what's happened and could happen at Indiana Caregivers' expense?
There's no transparency. They haven't told us. There's no real data, no real facts. There was a meeting with the FSSA yesterday, and then normally they live stream their meetings and there can be public comment on them. Well, then today, Governor Eric Holcomb put out an executive order that there will be a pause on all live streaming meetings until September 1st. So now we're not even able to watch and see what's going to happen to our lives. And there's only 2 pediatric nursing facilities in the state of Indiana, and they're completely full. But even if that was an option, I'm not putting my child in an institution.
What frustrates you the most about what's happened and could happen at Indiana Caregivers' expense?
It's not extra. It's a livable wage. Are we supposed to just be homeless with our children or just depend on the state and other resources? Because I'm not on any kind of food stamps or housing assistance, so they're saving money there.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of other families who, like us, were on food stamps before this. But they took that because they gave us this. So it gives us a sense of dignity. We, the money that they're paying us, we're actually putting back out by the things we buy and put back into the world. So we're paying taxes on everything also. It's not.
I think this is an issue that we all need to pay attention to, whether we are caregivers or not, right? Do you too?
Definitely. My mother actually lives with us, and she's disabled, so I also care for her, but I do not get paid in any way for that. I just take care of her. She's my mother. Knows that no matter what, we're going to take care of our children, whether
That's
we're
right.
being paid or not. They know that. So they're
That's
banking on saving the money by there not being any nurses to care for the kids, so they won't have to pay that, and they won't have to pay us anymore.
Well, as many of you know, on Monday, Lieutenant Governor Suzanne Crouch convened a special meeting of the Indiana Intellectual and Developmental Disabilities Task Force, which she chairs. She wanted IDD task force members and the public to hear directly from the Family and Social Services Administration regarding its proposed cuts to the attendant care program. Lieutenant Governor Crouch then made the following statement on Friday that we received in a press release that says she's deeply concerned with FSSA. And since the meeting on Monday, she said more and more families are contacting her office asking what can be done to reverse or at least pause these cuts. So she's telling everybody, all of us, the same thing. Contact your state legislators immediately.
You're listening to Caregiver Crossing, a show designed for family caregivers and the people who love them. Caregiver Crossing is brought to you by Joyce House in partnership with Cardon and Associates. With 20 communities owned, operated, or managed in the Midwest and more than 40 years of senior living experience, Cardon and Associates provides residents with the best senior living options and personalized service. Visit cardon.us for more information and to find a community near you. Again, that address is cardon.us. Stay put, everybody. We'll be right back with more Caregiver Crossing right after the break. Welcome back to Caregiver Crossing, everybody. Thank you so much for sticking with us, and thank you so much to all of our listeners. Today, we've got somebody super special to Caregiver Crossing and somebody super special to Joyce House as well. We have our Care Services Director, Abby Vincent. She's also a licensed clinical social worker, and she's also one of our end-of-life doulas at Joyce House. Today, we're going to be talking about an event that is super exciting. Abby, how are you doing? Thank you so much for being here today.
Yeah, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm really excited about this event that's coming up, Death Over Drafts. Could you tell us a little bit about this event and how it started at Joyce House?
Sure. So Death Over Drafts is essentially a time for people to come together in the community. It's open to anybody. The idea originated from a woman in California. Her name is Stephanie Elkin. She initially started the idea of Death Over Drafts. And we picked up on it, learned about it, and decided to try it here. It's a way for people to come together and to be able to talk about a difficult topic in kind of a relaxed setting. So this will be our 4th event, and we typically have them in the evening. Again, this one will be in the evening at 5:30, and we host them at local breweries. So the death overdrafts, meaning beer, not like overdraft your bank account.
Yes.
And the first part of it, we just come together and kind of get to know each other a little bit. And then we will break up into small groups and have some discussion based on the death deck, which we're going to share in just a little bit.
Yeah, so I was actually at the last event, the last Death Overdrafts event, and it was incredible. Anybody listening, please join us. I mean, just a fantastic way to converse and connect with other people about a topic that really is not talked about pretty often.
Yeah.
So we're going to share some of the interesting questions from the death deck. I think let's just get right started with one of the questions. So the questions kind of range from a little bit funny, and then they go to more serious as you go through them. So this one, if you could communicate with your loved ones, this is a multiple choice one. If you could communicate with your loved ones when you're gone, how would you show yourself? A, as a bird, butterfly, or another special animal. B, specific numbers or objects like a penny or feather. Or C, with the music or scent. That's honestly kind of hard. I don't know. Which one do you think you would pick? How would you like to communicate with your loved ones?
I think I'd say A, as a bird, butterfly, or other special animals, as something like a cardinal or like some kind of something that my family could see and they are reminded of me and they feel my presence.
Mm-hmm. I've always heard the stories about like little kids and then their grandmothers pass and they see like a special bird and they're like, oh, that's my grandma coming to visit me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A close friend of mine, B, every time she finds a dime, that was something special that she shared with her parents. And every time she finds a dime, she feels like that's her parents
that's her
being present with
to her loved ones.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow, that's so cool. Myself, I think I would go with music. I think that's a really cool one. I think that's really interesting because music makes you feel all types of emotions too. But I would love to be a butterfly.
Yeah, I know, right? yeah, because butterflies are so great.
They are. They're so beautiful.
All right, the second question that we have is, on special occasions, how would you want your family to honor you?
Oh, that's a good question.
A, lighting a candle and sharing a memory. B, visiting the location of my final resting place. Or C, bringing family and friends together to eat my favorite meal. What do you think,
Wow,
Noah?
that is a really hard question. I like number 2 a lot. I would say, well, my dad who passed away, I miss him every day. We actually spread his ashes at Lake Michigan. So that was really beautiful just to get on a boat with my family and go visit the lake. I mean, it's a really fun way to remember him. So I think number 2 would be good for me. I think that's the way I'm going.
That's beautiful, Noah. Yeah. I think I might go with A, lighting a candle and sharing a memory.
Yeah.
I love the idea of sharing memories. And I think that's a way to bring people together.
It is.
And to make those moments special. So I might go with A, but I love all of them.
I know,
actually.
they're all really... could I... Where's the option
all
D
of them
for
may,
to go
D.
to all? Yeah. All right, we got one more question from the death deck. Are you comfortable with family members giving you personal care? This is a hard question. When I wrote this down, I was thinking about this myself, and I really I have no idea. I mean, so this is multiple choice as well. Are you comfortable with family members giving you personal care? A, no. B, shaving and some cleaning, but no bathroom stuff, no really personal stuff. Or C, yes, if my family member is comfortable with it, absolutely. Why would they not? Why would they not help me? Abby, what do you think? Would you be comfortable with your family members giving you personal care?
Yeah, I would. I would go with C on that. Yes, if they're comfortable.
Yeah, I absolutely would too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's your family. They love you.
Exactly.
I mean, they're supposed to do anything for you.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
You would hope.
Yeah, and it is a really tough scenario for some people especially as they move towards end of life. But and I love thank you for bringing these questions, Noah, because these are a great example of some of the things we talk about at Death Overdrafts. And I'll tell you, the times that I've been there, the last several times, I have felt so bonded with the people at my table who were complete strangers when we first came.
That's exactly how it was with me last time.
Yeah.
I didn't know them when I got there,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, we were best friends by the end of the night.
And
yeah.
family members get to know each other in a different level too, because I was at a table with a mom and her daughter and daughter's husband, and they learned things about each other that they had never talked about before.
Wow, that's
And
beautiful.
It really is. So bring your family. It's a good opportunity to explore some of these topics that we don't really know how to get the conversation started. It really helps with that.
And I'm sure a drink will help too.
It does.
Or
it
if you
does.
don't drink, a water or Sprite
That's right.
too,
That's
please.
right.
Yeah.
And we were laughing and crying at our table. I mean, both. It was really great.
It's incredible. Yeah, so please join us. That's the Death Over Drafts event hosted by our End of Life program here at Joyce House. That's on August 20th at the Googman House Brewing Company. That address is 1701 Gent Avenue, Indianapolis, Indiana. The zip code for that is 46202. Again, that's at the Googman House Brewing Company. Please join us for Death Over Drafts. As we close the show today, we just like to remind our listeners that they can contact us for more information and resources to help you through the journey of caregiving at 317-254-0828. Caregiver Crossing is supported by Cardon & Associates, with 20 communities owned, operated, or managed in the Midwest, and more than 40 years of senior living experience. Cardon & Associates provides residents with the best senior living options and personalized service. Until next time, take good care of each other.